Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I want to bring you an allotment update. I want to show you all the things that are kind of happening on the plot at the minute, the direction it's going in, the progress that I've made since I did my October garden jobs video. I've achieved quite a lot over the last couple of months. There's been lots of big projects on the go and there's been some small wins too on the plots, and it's just lovely to see it all kind of coming together. It's been such a long time working on these spaces and kind of getting everything together, and actually I've kind of got a bit more direction, a bit more, I know what I'm doing, and I think lockdown and sort of everything that's been going on has helped that massively. Sort of just, it's forced me to be here. Let's go on a tour and I'll show you what I've been up to on the plots. We'll start with the area that hasn't seen much progress this year. So this is the bottom of my plot, and this is where raspberries are growing. I've got some flowers over here that, and I was supposed to put more in as well. Can't remember if I said before, but my friend helped me cut back the apple tree, so it's a lot lighter down here now, and you can see all the debris over there. But yeah, it's so much more open now inside. Any of the little branches that come through on these roots I'm gonna have to watch, because I don't want any more mess. It still needs a lot coming off of it, but and I think one of these down here is a bit rotten, so I've got to watch that. But you know, it's looking a lot better than it did, and you can see all of the debris over there. Under here I have a broccoli, and you can see it heading, which is really good. One of them did rot, this one over here, sadly, but this one here is coming up too, so that's really good. Keeping this lid on just to hold it in place, but you can see it in there. Unfortunately, there's food waste bags in there, which you can see, but I'll remove them when we take the compost out. But the compost itself is looking really good. If you're new to my channel and you haven't done so already, I'd love to have you along for the journey. Why not hit the subscribe button down below and join our community? Unfortunately, my strimmer is broken, so I'm currently waiting to get a new one. So ignore the grass, but everything else is looking pretty good. I've got a map, a plan of where all the beds are. I'm really just waiting to get the compost ready so I can cover all the beds again. And I have covered some of them in these areas here and just over here as well. So this is where the garlic's growing, just see if any of them are coming up. Not yet, but we might get something soon. I mean, the birds do keep upturning them. I probably need to get this netting down actually. I've got some beetroot here. I have, again, failure this year, but I mean, they are starting to bulb up a bit. I think they've been hit quite heavily by frost, but they seem okay. I'm just gonna leave them and see what they do. The plot's really big. I love it, the size of it, and it's got different sections. So this is sort of the top section here, and you can see the leeks, which we will be harvesting in a minute. And then I've got more garlic in there at the minute. I'm trying to get some squashes going here next year, I think. And then we've got beans to climb up this frame, so I've used the frame to hopefully kind of shut this area off. This is going to be a big project for me next year. I'm reviving the small space garden, so this is going to be where I talk about sort of small space growing and some ideas and inspiration. So if you're interested in that, do stay with the channel, because you'll see the sort of development and the evolution of this area. It's pretty much the size of my old balcony where I used to grow a lot of my veg. So that should be quite nice. And then I've got pots going in here, and obviously I'm creating all the compost as well, so that'll be good to get into these pots. And I'm going to grow things like carrots and lettuces and things like that, and just general things really. I've been covering my compost heap that I did in a couple of videos ago. You would have seen me building this compost heap up. It's gone down quite considerably, and it's still quite warm in the middle. We'll have a look at both areas in a moment. As you can see, I've covered it to try and keep the water away from it. I don't want it to go too sludgy. And then just over here, we've got the big compost heap, very warm inside. Really starting to rot down quite fast actually. I'm very surprised. And again, I've tried to do the similar sort of thing here, so cover it over just to keep it away from getting too wet, which I think means sort of not so much life in it as it otherwise would. I'm guessing maybe it gets washed away. So I'm hoping that this turns nice, fluffy, almost like flour, very dark, very rich, and then I can put that on my beds. Big things going on in the polytunnel. I'm going to take you in there now. Ooh, we're going inside. And then on the table here, I think this is Wawa Ga Choi, which is like an oriental green. I've got golden frills here, which I love. It's one of my favourite salads. The giant tatsoi, which is really starting to fill out now, and the roots are starting to come through the pots. I've got some onions at the back here, which I'm growing on so that they don't rot outside. So the hope is that they'll get nice and well rooted. The birds aren't pulling them up and things as well. I can just pop them outside then in February. Broad beans that I've been growing up here. So I've created this nifty little system to keep them away from the mice. And I've just put that up there like that. Basically just strimmer wire, a mushroom tray, and then obviously I grow them in little cardboard tubes anyway. And yeah, they've been growing up there for a while. I've been starting them off at home and then bringing them up here. But they're looking really good. They might even be starting to flower. What I want to do is get them to a stage where these beans aren't attached to them anymore. They're sort of gone or they're rotted away, because what's happening is the mice are eating them, leaving them on top then. So they're severing them from the bean, and it's just killing the plant. So keep them away from the mice for now. Make sure that the beans are rotted enough, and then they can go outside. The cabbages are looking really good. They're starting to head a little bit, I think, inside. Well, this one definitely is. I think these two have been munched on by slugs, so they're not holding out yet. Got some Mizuna in here, some red Mizuna, which just look really good. Early carrots that started off back in November. Some sort of pak choi, I think, or something down here, and then some spinach, which you can see some signs of over there. My goals for 2021 are really simple. It's just focusing on the vegetables, growing more, focusing on the soil as well, and making sure that I've got enough compost and manure into those beds, and tidying up the edges, because they always give me so much, like, whenever I walk past them, I'm like, no, I can't do that right now, I can't look at that. I want that to be different. I want to grow more flowers, and I want to grow more fruit bushes, and just make the whole thing look a lot nicer. Something positive to take from the last year is that I felt like I've had a lot more direction on my jobs and just on the direction of this plot. I'm a really big vegetable gardener. I don't focus so much on the flowers, so that's something else that I want to change going forward into next year. I would love to grow more colour, more just lots of height and beauty really on the edges of the plots. I see vegetables as the sort of beauty, and I'd love to spend a bit more time working on those sides. So that's something that I'll be doing next year. Another thing I'll be doing so much better next year is growing lots of different varieties and looking at more heritage varieties of vegetables and fruits. There's a plethora of vegetables that you can grow that look weird, wacky, interesting, that you won't find in the supermarket too. And those are the things that I want to focus on next year. So if I could grow two things on the allotment, it would be squashes and tomatoes. I really want to grow some fantastic varieties of squash, and I want to grow some really colourful and interesting varieties of tomatoes. Hopefully it's given you some ideas to get on with on your plots as well. I'm really proud of where I've gotten to so far. There's a lot of energy and there's a lot of drive to get more things done. If you'd like to check out any more of my videos, you can find them over here. That's it from me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.